All right. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's Monday morning mortgage update. My name is Sean Woland, and I have a little bit of a surprise for everyone today. I'm going to show you my latest addition to my team. Come on. Meet Mango. Mango is our new parakeet. It's a Quaker parakeet, so meet Mango. Super cute. All right, put him back over.
Is Mango gonna stay in the office?
Yes, he is.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yay. Okay, so he's office pet. Love it.
Mango is our new office pet. So that's a cute little birdie. So if he's loud in the background, it's okay, but he's pretty quiet. But welcome to today's Monday morning mortgage update. There he is. My name is Sean Wolin with the Wolin Mortgage Team, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Christy, do you have any announcements at this point?
I sure do. Okay, so May 7th is kind of a big day. We're having a hike, a local hike at Dreamy Draw at 8:30 on May 7th. Also on May 7th, from 11 to 12 o'clock, we're doing a headshot event over at Pioneer Title on High Street. And on May 7th, we are actually having our social media class right after that from 12 to 2. So that will
Good
be
morning.
at Pioneer. Good morning.
Good morning.
So that will be at
Oh,
Pioneer Title
my
as well.
volume's off. There we go.
May 8th, we're going to make a Mother's Day floral arrangement. That is going to be over at Pioneer Title on 16th, or Missouri Ave, sorry. That starts at 9 a.m., 9 to 11. So if you guys are interested in making something for Mother's Day on May 8th, join us over there. Let me know. It's free to make your own flower arrangements. We're going to have a professional there helping you make your own with a lot of different flowers. So it can be super cute. May 20th, we're having another, backed by popular demand, May 20th, 11 to 12:30, a color analysis by the House of Color. So we have the last two classes have been packed full. So if you guys are interested, let me know. As soon as we put it out, it's going to fill up quick. Also, May 27th from 10 to 11:30, we're doing our Prescott social media class. We'll be in Prescott on the 27th. So if you're on here and from Prescott, join that class. That's also taught by Bo Bullard as well. And don't forget, we have the Cromford Report every Tuesday from 11 to 12:30. So contact me if you want the link. And that's it for May.
Lots of good stuff. And as always, we try to bring as much as we can to you as our partners in real estate on the mortgage side of things. We try to bring as much as we can to you to help you be empowered and do more business and have fun and just have an overall successful career. So here we are at today's Monday morning mortgage update. And it's been interesting, but the markets are kind of all over the place today, but we're going to go into that in just a second. Plus, we are going to go over the world's best pre-approval process and how you play a role in that. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing everything right now, and we will jump right in. So first off, what is happening with the industry? What's going on with rates? But before that, a quick announcement. So monthly first-time homebuyer webinars are currently active. So we have been advertising these online on social media. We do have about 12, well, we have 12 participants on the next one, which is in June. And if you have any buyers that are looking to learn about the first-time homebuyer webinars, it's super simple. Monthlyhomebuyerwebinars.com is where they register. It is going to be incognito. They will not be, nobody will be able to be seen. So it's not like a typical Zoom call. It's a webinar style, so you can't see all the different people that are on it. So it's very discreet. And we make them tell us who their realtor is that referred us as part of the registration. So all those will stay with you. And then we will make sure we contact you once the webinars are over. But we're doing them every month. You can register for each of them at monthly more. Gosh, can't talk this morning. Monthlyhomebuyerwebinars.com. We're also going to do program webinars as well to really go into detail once a month on specific programs. And then we do have an open house event that Christy is going to be giving you an announcement on very soon here to meet our new team. We had one of my main partners in crime, Sandy Richards. She retired a few months back. So we were very happy that she was able to retire after many, many years in the industry, but sad for us because we loved her so much. And that's Mango saying hello. But you can come meet us at our open house event and meet the team and get to know us a little bit more. And then also, we are going to be starting to do text updates weekly on what's happening with rates. Just a quick update, a quick text. So if you would like me to include you into that opt-in, I'm going to be sending an email to everyone to say, are you open to getting text weekly? And then if there are any urgent industry updates, you will get those as well. I'm not going to bombard you. It's just going to be quick updates, simple stuff, but just to keep you in the loop as to what's the latest and greatest in the mortgage industry. So other than that, let's jump right into the markets. So this is where we are at. Oh no, not again. The baby's crying. I'm crying. The markets are crying. Um, we had hope on Friday. On Friday, if you can see back down here in the, let me get my little annotation tool here. If you look at this day right here, that was Friday. We went all the way up and then all the way back down. And then today we lost our shorts, went all the way through this Fibonacci level. There's just so much uncertainty with the Iran, with the Strait of Hormuz, with oil. Now we have Operation Economic Fury that is putting a lot of pressure on Iran. And basically they're squeezing us into a point of, or squeezing them into a point of getting what we want, so to speak, as far as the oil goes. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that ends up happening and what the outcomes of that will be. And until then, it's going to be very volatile. I don't know. It's hard to predict what rates are going to do based on traditional items, traditional economic patterns. But yeah, basically up and down swings are pretty large. But you can see the trend. It's not looking good. The mortgage-backed securities have lost almost every day for the last 2 weeks. So not the best, but it is what it is. Rates are still better than they were a while back, but they're in the mid sixes right now. Here's the 10-year. As you can see, when the 10-year rises, mortgage rates rise. We're almost up to this next Fibonacci level. This was today's move. It was quite high. So not good for mortgage rates. We do have a ceiling of resistance above in the next Fibonacci level. Hopefully that holds. It held the last time we went there. So hopefully it holds and we'll come back down. But time will tell. The world news will give us a good a good illustration of what's going to really happen in the near future here. So stressful to watch mortgage rates go up, but it is what it is. So last week when we announced this Monday morning mortgage update, where we were at 6.32, right now we're at 6.44. This is going to go to 6.5, 6.6 by the end of the day today. So not the best news, but hopefully it'll rebound. But now you can tell your customers like what's going on, why it's happening. It's all about inflation. It's all about oil, and it's all about the Strait of Hormuz right now. So all of the other economic indicators are falling into line for lower rates, but right now it's not the best. So today we had factory orders coming out. Tuesday, we've got ISO non-manufacturing job openings, which is the JOLTS report, is going to be coming out tomorrow as well. ADP private payroll change on Friday. We have jobless cuts and the challenger job numbers on Thursday. Jobs numbers, keep in mind, the worse the economy is, the better it is for mortgage rates. And then here we have on Friday the unemployment rate, which should stay steady. It may go up. We had interesting news. We had Spirit Airlines completely go out of business. So that was interesting. So all those pilots, all of those workers are now unemployed. So I know Southwest is doing a pretty good job of trying to help people in that, but that was a big shakeup. So unemployment numbers, if they go up, mortgage rates go down. Excuse me. So here's something I want to announce. Exciting news. We have, as part of the new pre-approval process, we are going to give our customers a $500 credit if they get us the documentation we need to do a fully pre-approval upfront. We will give them $500 cash towards closing costs for all of the borrowers if they get us what we need to process the pre-approval. I cannot tell you how hard it is to get customers to give us what we need to properly get the pre-qualification done in an efficient manner, not just based on verbal information, but actual hard data with tax returns, W-2s, pay stubs, and bank statements. We don't underwrite with the bank of hope. We need documentation. So it's very important to get these documents so that when we go move forward, nobody's wasting your time, nobody's wasting the borrower's time, and we have a solid pre-approval. So this should help entice our borrowers to get documents in quickly. So I'm going to make sure you guys know that, make sure our buyers know that, and then step into the 6-step process, which I think is probably the best process in the industry if we can do it. I say if because we need the borrowers to participate. Hopefully this $500 will work, but I want to also reiterate this. A proper pre-qualification takes about a week. A basic pre-qualification we can get done in 30 minutes, but it's garbage in, garbage out. Nothing's verified, nothing's validated. We're hoping that what they tell us is accurate. So if we do the fully pre-approved loan all the way through underwriting, it's about a week, and it's the best way to go. So I will do them in 1 hour. I will do them the same day. As long as the information is accurate, we're good. But I'm going to warn everyone, if this is not true and accurate, you may be going under contract and it may not work. So getting a getting a fully pre-approved borrower is absolutely critical. So hopefully this $500 will help. So what does this world's best pre-approval look like? Well, step 1, we listen. We literally just listen to the borrowers, go over all the rules. Step 2, go over all the goals. Step 2 is the loan application. Step 3, a full pre-approval consultation going over everything. And we're going to go over these in detail in just a second. Step 4 is a strategic planning and a strategic offer meeting. What are we going to offer? How are we going to do it? What kind of rate buy downs? What kind of concessions, that thing. Then you make an offer. Then you get an accepted offer. Now, each one of these is very important. So the buyer consultation, I listen more than talk. We're going to listen to their needs, listen to their goals. We're going to review their budget. We're going to discuss the price range of their interest in homes. We're going to review how the process works. We're going to go over very basically what their review of employment history is. We're going to discuss their credit, what they think their credit is, because what they think and what it is typically is different. We're going to go ahead and explain all of the process and the steps involved. Then we're going to go over the difference between a pre-qualification and a pre-approval. And then we move to the application. So I want to listen. I want to hear what the borrower is doing, what their needs are. I don't want to just send them to an online application. I want to know what's going on, what's the details, what's the story behind their goals, and what their purchase potential is before we go into that application. Now, once we're done with this, we can jump right into the application over the phone, or we can do the application online. We can schedule it in person. Again, we can do it over the phone, or we can do it via Zoom. I prefer to do everything over the phone, in person, or Zoom. I don't like online applications, but there is a benefit to that. All of the regulatory pieces are managed and completed when they do an online application, so we don't have to wait for them to do the e-consent. And sometimes it takes them weeks to sign documentation on the electronic consent. That opens up the portal to allow them to open up documents. So in a perfect world, we'll talk to them. We'll send them the online application to set up a meeting. Then we meet it in person, over the phone, or over via Zoom. So that's step 2. That's just the basic application. Now, step 3 is the most important piece. Once we have their information, once we know exactly what they can qualify for, we've looked at their W-2s, we've looked at everything. Now we go into the full-blown pre-approval consultation. We'll review everything. I have what's called a total cost analysis report that I will present to them with multiple options on price ranges, rate strategies. We'll go over that. We'll go over everything they need to avoid during the process. We'll review my team, my process again, so they know who they're going to be working with through processing and underwriting. We'll go over how rates work, because a lot of times they don't understand how rates actually work. A lot of times I hear, what's your rate? People don't understand. There's a lot of different rate options and strategies there. I'll review also how I shop for interest rates. There's not just one lender. There's Fannie Mae, there's Freddie Mac, there's FHA, there's all the grant programs, there's brokering loans. There's all kinds of options out there, and I'll explain how I do that for them. And then we'll review the terms of the pre-approval, which is very important. Make sure they understand that pre-approval process does not expire. The credit report does, and as long as we're staying in communication, this will be active forever until they find a home. And then I'll reiterate that $500 incentive if they haven't gotten us that documentation that we need. And again, that's if they get it to us before they go into contract, they get 500 bucks. So we need to get that pre-approval dialed in before they make the offer. Step 4 is strategic offers. This is my favorite part of the process with borrowers, because we'll look at the properties they like and we'll create strategies and set up all of these different ways to look at that specific property. We'll look at full price with concessions versus a lower purchase price to see what the benefits are, the pros and cons. We'll look at different rate options. We'll look at permanent buy downs, temporary buy downs. We'll look at all of those options in detail. Then we will look at the strategy of using just seller concessions. So if you're getting 3%, how do we use those? Do we use those towards paying closing costs? Do we split them up and maybe buy the rate down a little bit and pay some closing costs? Or we do it all towards a rate buy down? And then we look at the strategy of removing contingencies before making that offer. Now, this is near and dear to my heart because there's nothing worse than a listing agent getting an offer that has all these contingencies for appraisals, for home selling, for financing. We have ways of removing contingencies, whether it be our momentum program, which makes us ignore the payments on a departing residence. So it's kind of like a bridge, and where we can remove the contingency for selling their home. We also have appraisal waivers that we can get. We can run this through the system to see if we can get an appraisal waiver before we make an offer. And then also the platinum approval, which is the same as cash offer once we have that. So you can remove the financing contingency, remove the appraisal contingency, and remove a contingency on a home that is potentially needs to be sold. So lots of items to remove the contingencies on. And again, we can't do this in one day with 1 hour when you make an offer on the weekend. All of this takes strategy. So that's why I say really a week is a really good timeline to make sure this is done properly. Don't be afraid to make sure your customers understand the power and the strategy around having a really good pre-approval up front, because it's not just about getting a letter. It's about all of this. And that's what makes this the best way of doing it. Step 5 is you make the offer. Now I will customize the pre-approval to match the offer. We'll make sure they understand our platinum approval. We'll have a letter of platinum approval in there as well. And then I will always call the listing agent to review the details of the buyer to make sure they are comfortable moving forward. So that's the magic sauce, so to speak, when you talk to the listing agent, because you can really understand what their fears are. A lot of times they tell me things that they wouldn't tell the buyer's agent, and I can relay that information to you and the buyer. So that's the fun part. And then the most exciting part of all is the accepted offer. So on that, your borrowers will already have expectations. They're set. By the time an offer gets accepted, they'll understand all of the terms. They'll understand that they're fully approved and that the next steps are just verification and validation, the regulatory process, just checking boxes. And they'll be able to move forward with confidence. And if you have the platinum approval, it's only 2 to 3 week close. So lots of fun pieces of the puzzle when it comes to this pre-approval process. And it really is the best way of doing it. Yes, I can do a pre-approval in 30 minutes to an hour on a weekend, and you can make an offer, but we're going to skip over all the fun stuff that really makes it great for the borrower overall. Sets them up for success. So that's the breakdown. I do have flyers, and I can send these to you. I'll be able to give them to your customers. You can have them for yourself as well. But if you want a flyer on this to hand to people, or a trifold or whatever it may be, let me know. I'm happy to provide that as well. So that's our update for today. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the share, and I'll take some questions. Look like we had somebody in the chat had a question. No surprise, I struggle to get listing sellers to compete. Yep, getting signatures, I tell you, it is the bane of my existence. It is so difficult. We have to hound customers. And once borrowers go under contract, we have to get the initial disclosures out. And guess what? We can't order an appraisal until those disclosures are signed. And we've had some customers wait a week and 2 to get us those signed disclosures after begging them and pleading them and just hounding them. It's wild. So if we can get everything done ahead of time with your help, we can help coach them. This is the greatest way to do a pre-approval, and it will set you up for success. They're going to love you. They're going to be very impressed with the overall process. It's a lot better to have a lot of time to go through everything than it is to rush things. But again, sometimes real estate happens and there's a buyer, you just meet an open house, they want to make an offer right now and they want to secure the property, and I get it. that's part of the process as well, but it can be a little dangerous. So this is my mortgage update for today. Hope you have, if you have any questions, give me a call. You can always reach me direct, and I'll open it up for questions. Any questions? Well, if there's no questions, I'm going to see if I'm going to allow everyone to talk. So if you were on mute, you can jump in now. Everyone can talk. But if not, you can always call me separately, and we'll go from there. Oh, where's the birdie? Oh, bird's in his cage. So you'll meet Birdie next time as well. We'll talk to you guys soon.